Let's go.
Okay. So
I think we should do this again.
okay. Yeah.
I really think it's just too much. Just too much. Just too messy.
Yeah, that is a little messy.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're very excited today because we have Duane Forrest in the house. Who is Duane, Mike?
Well, being a forest, he's a natural organic plant.
Yes.
Who will actually be indoors tonight. And the reason why it matters is because he is a dread.
Yes.
He is a man of roots, heritage, who is from Chesterley, Scarborough, who's actually gone around the world. He's a good friend of ours, but he's, I guess, most known as a musician, a true artist, a visual artist. He's an athlete, but he's known for singing bossa nova love songs in French, Italian, and Spanish, and sometimes a little English.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Duane's well-traveled. He's kind of gone all over the world, breaking cultural barriers. And the best thing about him as an artist, he's a starving artist in the true sense of the word.
Right.
But it's because he's so generous. Whatever he gets as profits from his music, for the large majority, it goes towards a non-profit, a charity that he's established, Genesis Community of the Arts, which is in Honduras. And he's basically using his art to teach art to kids all over South America.
Amazing. And it's not only going to be just this wonderful interview, but you're going to hear him live play today.
Hey.
Next on Standing in the Six.
Special treat. Okay, nice. There you go. That was cleaner.
Straight out of the T-Dot.
That's what it is.
Live from the 6 boroughs.
Don't go nowhere.
For sure. Welcome to Standing in the 6 with your hosts Michael and Constantine.
Excellent. For you, Peter.
Where's Peter? I don't look at anything but you guys.
Oh, Peter's our editor.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
actually has an online board that is tapped into right now, watching us, and he just edits like in live mode.
You're lying.
I mean, that's serious.
What?
Peter, come in.
Yeah, Peter, if you're there, make the camera flick. Yeah, sure.
Hello, Duane.
Yeah,
Hello, Duane. This is Duane with a DW.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone, on this fantastic Monday. I am excited as always. Mike is looking fine and white.
Hey.
And we got a very, very special guest. Someone that's very close to our hearts.
Oh.
Well, I think I'm going a little too far, but someone that's a really cool dude. Someone that I actually known for a long time. Mike, you've known him in longer. And his name is Duane Forrest. Mm-hmm. Duane, welcome, buddy.
Yo, thank you guys for having me. This
Good,
is crazy. Man. Yo, you guys did a little something here.
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's clean, man. I
Nice,
like it.
man.
Really good.
Well, look.
Yeah, there's a cleaner that just comes with the office every night they come.
Right? Yeah.
Is that what you meant?
No, I mean clean is the look.
It's
clean
sharp.
look.
Legit,
sharp.
legit, right?
Yeah.
Qualifies us to be podcasters, I guess.
Sure, man.
Good, man.
Good.
There's a quote that's something about if you can do anything, do it in excellence. Mike, I always butcher quotes. Is there anything like something along that line?
If you're gonna do it with excellence.
Do it well, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're gonna do it well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, for us, we wanted to make sure that we represent it proper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look, man, forget about the show and its amazingness. Let's talk about you, bro. I mean, thank you so much for coming down. It's been a while since I last saw you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I miss your voice.
Oh man. That touches me, man.
This is good. I like it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
But where were you at this time? I know you were in Europe somewhere.
Yeah. So this past year, I was living in Paris.
Okay.
I had an opportunity to play basketball out there, like on a lower level semi-pro team.
Hey.
Yeah, that was fun, man. And then I realized my age when I got hurt. You remember when you're back in the day when we used to play ball for like 8 hours, literally like 8 hours after school, right? And then afterwards go to McDonald's and get like a Big Mac,
right?
And be fine the next day.
Yes.
And I can't do that anymore.
Those days are done.
Yeah,
man.
and when you get hurt, you don't bounce back the same. And so that was challenging, but it was super fun to be able to run around with 20-year-olds. I still got it, man. I'm giving them some work.
Yeah.
It's been good.
How old are you?
I am 37.
This guy says he's old.
The old man game.
The old man.
The old man game is a smart game.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So,
Below the rim.
yes.
Last week we had a great guest, Granville Mayers. He's a 14 world record holder, and he's 45 years old. And he was saying that it's all about, like, for him, what he can do. The guy can, like, bench press like 500 pounds and squat 700 pounds, and the guy's dunking. By the way, he said
Okay,
he said
I think he did it last weekend.
Did he do it?
At 45, when he turned 45, he
Yeah.
was making a video of him dunking. That he's built like literally like the Hulk.
Jeez. How tall is he? How tall is he?
6'1".
And he's dunking
He's
at
built-
45.
He's built like the Hulk.
He's built like the Hulk.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna
He's
say.
a world record power lifter.
Yeah.
And he's talking about just how you train the body, how to optimize it, how to get peak performance from it. It's just what you do.
Wow.
And he's like, yeah, for his 45th birthday, he's gonna have a video of him doing a windmill.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
But I don't even think I could touch the rivet anymore.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like,
But the reason why I bring that up is because he's talking about spacing out, just sustaining. Look, I'm 45. If I want to continue lifting heavy, I got to be smart now. I got to start lifting smarter. I got to start working out smarter. So, for example, that game that you were playing back in, where is it, Paris, you said?
Yeah.
Did you stretch properly?
yes.
That's your mistake. You shouldn't be stretching.
Really? I was like, what? You just like, is this new science?
It's the setup. He set you up.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Pretty
'Cause this is
good.
science. I know that the ideas of that keep changing. Like now, it's like don't stretch before, warm up first, stretch after.
Yeah.
And that's how I actually before going to Paris about 3 years ago, I burst my Achilles just like Kevin Durant.
Wow.
So remember when Kevin Durant he got injured the first time before the second time?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's a lower calf strain. I go, no, it's his Achilles.
Yes.
Because I saw him
Yeah.
look back, and it's the same thing that happened to me. You're like, who kicked me?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird,
It's
huh?
just like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you think someone kicked you or landed on
Wow.
you. So once he looked back, I was like, okay, he's
Crazy.
hurt. Yeah, it's Achilles. But anyways, so I burst my Achilles, and I stretched before the game.
Right.
Right? I like just quickly, I was stretching before it was a pickup run.
Yes.
Every injury happens at a pickup run.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Shout out to all the pickup runs in the city.
Yo.
You know,
Yeah.
Mendham, you know who you are.
You know you are, man.
Yeah.
The gyms where you lay.
Yes,
you know what I'm
yes.
saying? Yeah. So anyways,
living, living vicariously through the NBA.
Yeah.
You know, bringing your dreams into reality on every
Exactly.
Tuesday and Thursday nights.
Exactly.
Crazy.
So
Well, why were you in Paris?
So I went to do the basketball thing, but I also wanted to do the music thing.
Okay.
So as you guys know, I'll say it for the camera, I'm a songwriter here in Toronto, a musician.
And an athletic artist.
Athletic artist, yeah.
There's not many of those out there.
Yeah.
Right.
But shout out to Shad. I was shooting some hoops with Shad
Yeah.
a couple days ago, and he surprised me, man. His
He can
jump
ball?
shot, man. This guy's jump shot was money, bro.
Really?
Yeah. I
Wow.
was so surprised. I digress. So I went out there to do the music thing. I do I'm like songwriting, like kind of soul, bossa, jazz on the guitar.
Yeah.
And the Six is all about hip hop right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But over in Europe, like not that they don't dig it in Six. I think they dig what I do in the Six, and they
Yeah.
will dig it more.
Right.
But like in Europe, they're really into that. It's just like the culture, the vibe. It just
Yeah.
lends to it more.
They're more into the rap?
No, they love rap too,
Yeah.
but they
No,
love what I do.
Okay.
They love what I do.
So
Yeah,
you found your market, basically.
yeah, and Europe.
They're on his frequency.
They're on my
Yes.
frequency. Yeah,
Yes.
it is. Not that the Toronto isn't. I think
Right.
Toronto is also on that frequency.
Right.
It's just that hip hop's so big right now. Everyone's just looking at that. But I'm hoping that I can be part of the maybe the small group of people that start to bring more popularity to that kind of music. Here in Toronto too.
That's
So,
good, man.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, I think it's very important to know where the markets are as well.
Yeah.
Look, David Hasselhoff, he found the market in Germany.
Come on.
He found the market in Germany. You know what I mean? No, but listen, I've listened to your music.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. I actually listen to a lot of jazz music. And people don't know that.
Oh, I didn't
I
know
listen to
that.
a lot of jazz music. In fact, people always make fun of me when they listen to it because it's like, what do you have that elevator music for?
Right.
I enjoy it, man. In fact, when I
Yeah.
went to New York last year for that Simon Sinek leadership course I went to,
Yeah.
I went to a jazz club down there.
Okay.
Right? Just because I really, really enjoy it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And I like your music, man.
But he started popping and locking.
yeah,
Yeah,
started popping
shut
and
And
that
then,
kind of
so
shit.
then
Yeah.
the doorman asked him to leave.
But yeah, but it is a genre that I
Can you
think
imagine?
a lot of people appreciate. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, who knows? Maybe you could fuse that
Yeah.
into something.
No, yeah, sure, yeah, and
We're gonna hear that a little later on, and I'm looking forward to that.
yeah, man, yeah, like you said, like I think that can happen. I was speaking to someone recently. Who was that? Oh, it was Pills. It was a really well-known producer and manager here in Toronto. And he said something, I can't quote it correctly, but he basically was saying this, and it's something I've been telling people, that I kind of see the music business as lanes on a highway. Okay. And there's different, and like basically, if I keep my lane instead of changing lanes trying to catch the car, which is the business, I'll never quite be in the right lane at the right time. You know what I'm saying? If I was
Yeah.
kind of falling behind a car.
Right.
But if I just stay in my lane, right, me and that car will eventually hit. Will eventually line up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I've been tempted over the years to kind of change what I do, the music I do.
Yeah.
You know, come on, like I could, you know, just give me a trap beat or something like that. I can start singing on that, put some chords on that.
Yeah.
You know, and just try to do what's popular, just try to do what's working, or you know. But I don't know. Pills was saying, you gotta stay true to yourself. I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that. You know, and just stay true to yourself, stay in your lane, and hopefully it'll line up.
Let me ask you this: do a lot of people know? I know you obviously play guitar. Do people know that you're an incredible drummer?
No.
Do people know that?
No. I can't say I'm incredible anymore.
We dropped it live at Standing in the Six. Like, this guy here
Revealed right now.
from
the vault of Duane Forrest.
And this is what blows my mind. Okay, look, I know Mike has a very different relationship growing up with you.
Yeah.
What I knew of you was that you were a drummer in a church, and you were like very charismatic. You weren't like your regular drummer.
Yeah.
You were in it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And to me, when I started finding out you were taking the venture of the guitar, I'm thinking, what happened here? Like, I mean,
the drum skins were saturated with his sweat.
Yes, they were sweat. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like, you literally are like the modern day Prince right now.
Oh, what? Come on, man. But I can't. I can't. No, because the drums. If you had a drum set here right now and I went on it, man, it's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
But when you first start re-riding a bike,
right?
It would take some time, but it's not as natural as it used to be.
Right.
Tisk.
I know.
Yes.
It's okay.
So humble, this guy. But that's crazy. So you've also, through your music, done a lot of things where you've seen a lot of the world, and I follow you obviously on social media, and you're just all over the place, man.
Ah, man. Yeah.
What's that been like?
Wow. To be honest,
Not just gone around, he's lived around the world.
That's
I've
right.
lived in different places. Yeah. I don't think there's any better education. Personally, I think it should be a part of the education system to have young people go out, live in other places, or at least spend extended periods of times in other places.
Right.
Yeah, like go to Markham.
Yeah.
Go to Brampton.
Yeah. Or maybe I don't know.
Right?
Orangeville.
Yeah. Venture out.
So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, across seas.
Yeah.
And like when you have like empanadas where empanadas come from.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you have like T-bone steak where it was made.
Yes.
When I have pizza in Naples.
Right.
Napoli in Italiano, si parla Italiano.
Oh,
right?
hey.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's like,
Yeah.
Like it, that's making us look bad.
Hi, how are you?
I'll get a Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's just it changes everything,
right?
And the cool thing is because in the end of the day, when you go around, people are people. We're humans,
yes.
right? And you see a lot of the things that make us human. Like you see the same similarities.
Yeah.
But there's these really cool things. Like one of my favorite things about traveling is obviously food and drinking and all that, and meeting people, but their language, right? Because when you start learning their language, there's also they have a way that they go about telling jokes. They have a different type of humor.
Right.
They have a different way they move.
Yes.
Now because of all my traveling, right? I don't have to think twice. If I see someone on the street walking, I'm like, oh, he's Italian. Right? Oh, he's from there.
Right away.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's from here. He's probably from here.
Yeah.
He's probably from Scandinavia. She's probably from, I could just look and see it.
Wow.
Because of the way they move, how they
Mannerisms
carry
and all.
How tight the clothes are.
Right, exactly. Yeah, there's so many things.
Socks,
man.
no socks.
Have you picked up any languages traveling?
Yeah.
Outside of the hey,
No. I have like a working amount of Italian.
Yeah, well, no, working.
Yeah. No, I'm not fluent in Italian, but I'm pretty fluent in Spanish. And now, from my time in Paris, I learned the Parisian Francais, which is very different than Quebecois.
Oh, wow. So you could speak a little bit of French?
Oui, si tu peux.
Well, today's your day because my daughter speaks fluent French.
Whoa!
So maybe we'll have a conversation afterwards.
Okay. I'm not fluent. I'm still working.
Okay, interesting thing here. We were doing an event this past weekend, and I was talking to someone who literally just came over from Paris.
Okay.
And he says that and I kind of knew of this, but to hear him say it, he's been here for 6 months, and it took him 5 months to get used to our version of French.
Yeah.
Because our French is very slang. It's dirty French, basically.
That's what they say.
Compared to what they speak.
That's what they say.
That's a rapper name right there.
Dirty French.
Yeah, featuring French Montana.
There we go.
Yeah. So that's
Very
awesome, man. You've done all that, and
Dirty French.
I mean, to me, you were gone for how long? Because we were trying to get you on.
Before
5 months ago.
Yeah. I left. The season started in October last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was here for a little while in the summer, and then I had to head over, and the season finished when was May.
Yes.
It finished. Yeah. So I slowly made my way back to Toronto.
And you're here for how long now?
I leave on Sunday.
Hold on, you just came back.
No, I've been here for a month.
But that's just coming back, man.
Yeah, I guess so. Not to me, but
Okay,
It's been here for a while, man. So
yeah,
but on Sunday actually, this is pretty exciting. Last year, I wrote a play to my last album.
Yes,
and I put it in the Toronto
Climb the
Fringe
Musical.
Festival. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. So I should say that on the camera. Climb the Musical.
Yes.
I actually changed the name to Climb the Live Album.
Okay.
It's not a musical.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was so hard to figure out what the name.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Climb the Live Album. Yes.
Yeah. So it did really well. We got really good reviews, man. Now Magazine, shout out to Now. They gave us a really cool review.
You did it where? What was the theater that you did it on?
I did it right here, not too far in Kensington Market.
Yes.
Yeah, we had there's a St. Stephen's Community Center, which is they have like a huge like kind of space that they rent out.
And you guys sold out every single show. I remember that. I couldn't get tickets.
No, we didn't sell every single show. In the beginning,
we
it was like a slow start.
Yeah.
I think the first show we was like 15 people. I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't a good idea.
Yeah.
And then it kind of was a little more. It was a little more. Then the reviews came out. And then bang.
That's it.
Sold out.
Because I tried to get on when the reviews.
You must have.
And I couldn't get tickets.
Yeah.
I tried to get tickets. There was a guy scalping them at the front.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, I literally wanted to get tickets. I remember, Mike, you actually invited me to come out.
Yeah.
That day I couldn't make it, but I really wanted to see that show, man.
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
I mean,
Shad was sitting in front of you.
Yeah, Shad was.
Shout out to Shad.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that show that wasn't at St. Stephen's. That was when we first it was like the first concept of the show.
Yeah.
And I rented a theater. Where was that? Like
Artscape.
Artscape or something like that. Yeah.
Artscape, yeah.
And so we just did 4 shows and like kind of to test the idea to see if people would be into it. And then from that it went to the Fringe Festival.
What's the show about?
It's it's to my album, and it's a story about me. But when I used to live in Mexico, they used to call me Diego, so I always use Diego whenever I do like these plays or like a film thing or whatever. So Diego's coming from a really bad breakup. It's kind of supposed to be my life story.
Yeah.
And he meets this beautiful woman named Mariela, and then they journey together, and you know how that goes. There's ups and downs.
Yeah, of course.
And so we do it. It's hard to explain the show. You got to see it. I'm playing music while there's like vignettes, I guess I'd say, of kind of giving you suggestions of what the story is, what's happening, but not like in a feed it to you sort of way. Like what's that word? Like just spoon fed. It's not like spoon fed. It's it's just kind of ideas, right?
Right.
And it's really evolved. So since you've seen it, Mike, now
could I just pause for a second? What was your thoughts on it?
You need a knife and fork.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for someone listening to that and confused by that, what would you say to elaborate?
Versus spoon fed. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
No, it's there's an amazing message in it, which don't want to let there's an amazing message in it that I repeat on the regular to people.
Oh, really?
On the regular, just
Wow.
and it kind of it's the inception of it was Duane had a situation with a lady. Was it in Mexico?
Yeah.
Was she in Mexico?
So the story, it's kind of a true story, but it's a story. So I kind of move things and shift it. But in this story, yes, it was in Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah, and just don't want to let it out. But there's some incredible, essentially, Duane was talking with this lady, and she likened life as being a woman, and being pursued by a man as being an apple in a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting.
Another album we had right there. Right?
Well,
that's why the idea. That's
one of his other albums, and Duane's last name is Forrest. So there's a lot of similarities.
Yes.
So again, it is an experience. I like that. A musical album.
Yeah, I said the live album.
Live album.
Yeah.
Live album. So he kind of takes you through. There's. It hits all the different stimulus. Like you need to add scent to your show.
Oh, exactly.
That would be really cool. Because when you take it in, it's not just a typical show. There's there's moments that you just, I mean, at the core.
It's funny, as you're talking, I'm smelling lavender right now.
No, that's what I'm saying. You need to somehow incorporate.
I thought about that, but then you'd have like scent triggers. So not everyone, not all scents are equal, you know?
Yeah.
Or not all those who receive
People
scents
might be
are equal.
allergic, right?
Someone
just put
might
a
be
disclaimer at the
allergic
door. If you there's lavender, just this is
Yeah.
not for
And
you.
then just maybe half the people would leave. You don't know, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
but
crazy.
I thought about that.
But
yeah.
it's definitely live, and then like the kind of fusion of like the live band and the visuals, the lighting, everything, all the elements are just like they add to it. And then there's these different scenarios of the story that's kind of weaved in throughout, and it kind of like comes in and out at unpredictable moments. And then what you walk away with is like, man, Duane's life is amazing and mine sucks. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Joking.
Yeah, no, it's what you should walk away with. My life was a bit of a mess. Is what it shows.
Well,
but
Yeah.
I missed the show. Are you saying now I have to fly out to, where is it, Iceland?
Scotland,
Scotland now.
Edinburgh. So
That's right. If I want to watch the show right now, that's where I have to go.
That's you gotta go. We'll be there for the month of August.
Okay.
So this is the biggest thing I've done.
That's huge.
Yeah. So
And what's crazy about this, I just found this little tidbit of fact this morning from our producers.
yeah.
We don't have producers. We're just making it sound big. We're making it sound big. But the cast,
Yes.
the majority of them are coming down with you.
Not the majority, but yes, I'm bringing we're going down as a team of 5.
That's sick.
Yeah.
And you have the remainder of the cast already set up down there?
No, I had to retweak the show.
Okay.
So that was really another new cool challenge.
Right.
So in the first shows that you saw, I just played the music and I had somebody playing me as Diego.
Yes.
Now I'm Diego. So
Wow.
I'm in the play with a guitar doing scenes.
Which I think is a really good.
That's a really cool. That's a really cool
and
vibe.
people, so I think it's better.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
funny how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, this
Yeah.
year is the year of deflection.
Yes, it is.
Last year was the year of delegation.
Yes.
So meaning you can't delegate that role anymore.
Yeah.
You got to pick it up.
Really?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
No,
okay.
just
I was like, what? I was like, but yeah, no, yeah. So it was really
good.
Yeah, really cool. So yeah, so we're heading on Sunday, and
Amazing.
yeah, and we're gonna. It's like I think we're doing like 24 shows.
Holy
in Edinburgh,
smokes.
yeah,
Wow,
so,
man. And have you been there before?
No,
You've never been there?
never been there.
That's one place, man. If you're a Braveheart fan, which I am,
Yeah, I am.
I need to. I've heard so much incredible things about Scotland, man.
Really, right?
Amazing
I'm
things.
so
Yes.
excited. They told me it rains all the time, but
Yeah.
it's extremely
no,
beautiful.
it's supposed to be gorgeous. So
Yeah.
you know Sarah, my wife,
Yeah.
who's from England.
That's right.
She been?
Literally, I think she went like every summer. Every summer they would get in a caravan, which is the British version of like a little motorhome.
Yes.
Like a trailer.
Yeah.
And they would go up to Scotland.
Head up, because it's just
To
a
the
drive
Highlands,
up,
to the Highlands, and like
Yes.
she can't forget it. Like just the lush green. It's like the most
crazy.
one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm hoping we can go to the Highlands. We might not be able to because the schedule's so busy. But
make it
yeah.
happen, man.
So for all our international listeners, a lot of people think we just have some like 6 listeners. We got some international listeners here.
Yeah,
Okay.
shout out to the Philippines.
That's right. Yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah. If
Madagascar.
If somebody from Scotland is listening to this right now, how do they find your show? Do you have anything to throw out? Like, find
Yeah,
us here?
yeah. So it's a part of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Okay.
If you go on the site, our show's called Climb.
Yes.
So you just got to search Climb.
Okay.
We're going to be at the Underbelly Bistro Square at the Cow Barn, which is the name of the venue.
Are you kidding me?
It's called
The
Cow Barn.
Underbelly.
Yeah, I love that.
Bistro
yeah.
Square
Yeah.
at
That's
the
name
Cow
of it.
Barn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful
Sounds
venue.
swanky.
Yeah, it is.
Sounds
It actually
really
is. It actually
Yeah.
is.
No, I know. Just
There you
funny.
go.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
we bring the show back here to Toronto.
Yeah, I think especially now this new show, because another reason why I think theater is not so popular is because it's so hard to make any money in it. Like there's so
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much is involved with it, and to the the amount of people that actually watch theater, it just doesn't really work out financially. But now that I've shrunk the show, right, it makes a little more sense,
Okay.
and I'm hoping that if we have a successful run and get some good reviews, my plan is to pitch the show to like Young Theater and Distillery. I had a contact in Stratford for the festival.
Okay.
They have a program where they take some theater shows and they'll like develop them and put the shows on at Stratford.
Yeah.
And I just think like it's weird to say this because I made it, but not by myself, by the way. It takes a village, but I just feel like it's so unique. And I think it's really good, It's simple, unique, good, leaves you thinking about stuff. And I don't know, really, like I watch a lot of theater. I'm like, man, I would love if I didn't make this, I'd love to see this, something like this.
Right.
It's just different. I'd like to
sure.
see something different. Yeah. So yeah, I wanna pitch it around, man.
That's good,
Speaking
man.
of the finances, what makes Duane really unique is that he's not a rich musician. Okay. And even
How do you measure wealth, Mike?
Right.
I said riches, not wealth. There's a difference.
Ooh,
There
yes.
is.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. But any money that does come in,
Yes.
Duane's famous for being very generous. He's a very generous person. So this is perfect to talk about maybe Genesis Fine Arts.
Yes.
Genesis and generous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what
Wow.
Duane has been doing from when he started literally playing publicly and having people buying his albums and even giving money at his shows, it benefits Genesis Fine Arts, which is a charity that he started. It's what, maybe how many years have you been doing that now? 6 years?
A while. No, more now. More now. Maybe 8 years now.
Is it 8 years?
Yeah, over 8 years.
Can you share what Genesis is?
Yeah. So in the beginning, I was called Genesis Fine Arts, and I've changed the name since. Now it's called Genesis Community of the Arts.
Okay.
And so I was basically, I was living in Honduras. I was working with an organization called Urban Promise, helping them with summer camps. It was super cool. I was in a town called Copan. And in Copan, it was basically where the Mayan ruins are. So it was really, really cool town.
Wow.
Yeah, it was sick, man. Yeah. So I was there, man. Shout out to the Urban Promise family. I missed them so much. Yeah, I made friends that I love and I miss so much till today. Anyways, while I was down there, I didn't actually know this about Central America or poorer places, but it makes sense when there's not a lot of money going around. Of course, there's no arts education, right? Like,
Yeah.
of course, it'd be like just like math or maybe like writing, and even that's pretty bad. Like I've seen their homework. The homework is like, okay, go home and look at this textbook and write the same words on your paper, and then bring that paper back. Like that's their homework, right? So it's just really the opposite of creativity, right?
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so I saw that. I met adults that couldn't play an instrument. Never sang in a choir, never did a dance move, like things like that. And so I thought it was a shame because, music, like, man, music and art saved me. Well, God saved me through music and art, you know what I'm saying?
Wow, yeah.
So I would not have graduated high school if it wasn't like the only reason why I had grades that I could graduate was because if I didn't have those grades, I would have been kicked out of the art club.
Right.
I would have been kicked out of the jazz band.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or kicked off the basketball team.
Right.
That's the only reason why. Those were the reasons why
Yeah.
I wanted to do those things so bad. That's why I did the rest of school, and it just kept me going, And I think it was really important, and it got me to be creative and dream and create. That's what we don't think about it, but education and music and arts and stuff like that, it kind of teaches you to go outside of the box, to dream, to think differently,
Right.
which is what people need to do, I think, especially in situations like where I was in Honduras.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing. So I looked around town for a place that I could do it, and I saw this like castle, literally, like it was like a mini castle on a hill. It had like a turret. Imagine like a white cottage home with a red roof, and there's like a turret. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I went and I spoke to them to see how much it cost. And it was like, okay, well, you're going to need $600 a month American to rent this, and which is a lot of money down there.
Yeah, of course.
Dude, $600 is half my rent in Toronto.
Yeah.
This was a castle
Right.
on a hill,
You became,
right?
Right.
You became the Count of Copan.
Yes. They actually called me Rapunzel for a while because of my hair, and
Yeah.
I lived in the turret.
Yeah.
Right? And there was like a river behind it. It was crazy,
Yeah.
man. I had like mango trees, coconut trees, and there was
This is like Jumanji, Count of Monte Cristo.
Everything.
A river runs through
Everything.
it. It's like all these.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
And in Mexico, right? You're probably this is Mexico.
No, this is Honduras.
Honduras.
Yeah.
Pretty much, it's when it
They're all
comes.
They're all the same.
Well, they're
thing,
almost the
right?
same when it comes to height for the people. Like they don't have a lot of tall people. in
Wow,
Honduras.
no, there's actually a lot of tall people in Mexico if you go to the right places. Honduras, yeah, if you're because if you're
So when
in
they're
the
looking at
mountain
you,
towns-
they're looking at him as like the count. Like, look at this tall.
Yeah, Duane's 6'3".
So
Yeah.
I was quite tall there.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
in this place.
Yes.
Because it was in the mountains.
Right.
When you go to mountain places,
Yes.
people are a little shorter. Yeah.
Right.
Which doesn't make sense, but
It does somehow scientifically. So
I guess, yeah.
something with
Yeah.
I don't know
Pressure,
but
gravity,
There's something. There's some
Yes.
reason.
altitude.
Yeah. But when you go down into the valleys, people are taller.
Yeah. Anyways, enough about height.
Yes. So I was there, and
Yeah.
it was amazing. So I went. I was like, okay, I want this place, and so she's like, okay, you can have it. It's gonna be $600 a month. I'm like, okay, let's do it. I didn't really have much money, and all I had was I had just released an album.
Yes.
And I had some CDs, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I could go and play some shows, and maybe I'll make money that way.
Right.
So I connected with some local bars and started playing, and I was making $25 like a night. I was like, this is going nowhere fast.
Like you're not talking about pesos.
No, I'm talking about dollars.
Dollars,
Yeah.
okay.
But $25 a night. But you're only playing 2 nights a week. $25 a night.
Right.
You sell maybe a couple CDs.
Right.
You're not gonna pay a $600
No, for sure
rent.
not.
So I just kept going at it. I was like, this is not making sense. But
Yeah.
I really want to do this.
Believing in faith.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep trying, and
Yeah, man.
somehow a way is gonna be made. And then someone was at one of those shows in the bar that was traveling through Honduras, and then she said, "Hey, I got this. She's a part of this hotel that was like in Guatemala. Can you come out to Guatemala and play and do a couple shows?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "What do you need?" I was like, "Okay, well, I'm raising money for this thing I want to do, so pay me this." I just said some large number.
Yeah.
She's like, "Okay, cool, got it." So he gave me. So I went over there, and then the tour started picking up, and I
Right.
started playing around all the countries in Central America. I've been through like all those countries maybe 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
Touring.
Yeah.
And people would I would just tell people, I'm like, hey, I'm using my profits, right, to run this project in Copan. And people came to shows, like they see me at one show, find me at the next show, and bring like a guitar. They were like travelers. Travelers
Yeah.
like travel with like a guitar or something like that.
Yeah.
They're like, hey man, I'm about to leave back to Europe. Like, can you use a guitar? I'm like, yeah. So I'd go to like Guatemala, like come back with like guitars, and
Wow.
like I had someone bring a keyboard to a gig, and people just give me money. It was
Yeah.
really cool.
That's awesome, man.
And that's how it got started. And I started paying rent. Went to the local school, invited the kids, and I was like, okay, it's just me. I was like, okay, I'm doing a registration. I'm gonna take 50 students, right? Line them outside of the castle, down the path for the kids to come into the program. They wanted to be a part of it so bad.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's how I started.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Have you seen any kids like after teaching them a bit, like really get into it? Like
Yeah. So one of my first
Daddy
students,
Yankee was his first
Yeah.
student.
That'd be right. That'd be cool.
Crazy.
There's a young girl. Her name's Veronica, who's been through a lot. I knew her when she was young, and she's not from an easy situation, right? A lot of stuff, health issues in her family, no money to deal with issues, that kind of stuff. And she was a student, and now she's doing like extremely well. She's like songwriting, performing. She's been invited to perform around Honduras, outside of the country.
Amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, and she's like really good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. And she's grown now. She's like, she's an adult now.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see that happen. That was like probably my favorite story.
That's
But yeah.
crazy. I haven't listened to your full albums. There's a couple of songs. There's one song that I remember. It's a song I think you're singing about. I always said if they ever played a movie where it was a New York backdrop, this would be the song for it.
Broadway?
Broadway. It's just and there's a girl singing in it as well, I think.
About New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually Leah, who's Promise. He's a rapper from Toronto.
Okay.
Promise. His wife. Yeah,
Okay.
she's singing with me on that.
Yeah, I
It's called-
really
think
like
it's-
that song,
Yeah,
man.
it's called Broadway. That's
Okay.
an old one, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I go back, man. I go back.
He's
Yeah.
an OG.
I do my homework. I do my homework.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, how do you get to that place? You write all your songs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When you get to the point where you want to write about another song, what do you do? Like, what's your
The process?
process? Do you go to like a excluded area? Just
Yeah.
Young and Dundas.
Yeah. No, it's actually not. Like, in order for me to write, I got to be inspired. In order for me to inspire, I have to travel. It's just like that.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you were living in Italy,
Mhm.
you spent you said in 30 days you wrote 36 songs or something?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. I was there for like over a month, and I wrote a lot of songs. I was like pretty in the dumps. Like I, came out of a bad breakup,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, man, what do I do? I was so sad. You're so sad. I was like, man, so depressed. And I thought,
Video
what can I do?
games or Italy?
Yeah, video games weren't helping, bro. I
No.
do play video games.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do I do? And I ended up seeing a movie called Under the Tuscan Sun. You know that movie?
I've heard of it.
I think it's called that. It's like is that what it's called? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't know who the actor is. I don't remember. All I remember is this woman. She went through a terrible marriage thing, and she decided to move to Tuscany. And I was asking people, I'm like, is what I'm seeing in this movie, is that how it is there? you know. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, this can't be. Like, it was amazing. If you see the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way I could be sad there. So I just
You went.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know
So
this?
yeah. So I headed over. It spent not forever.
Yeah.
I was in Italy for about 6 weeks.
Wow.
And jeez, man, it's so right. You know, if you're, I'm not saying it might work for everybody, but it's hard to be sad when you got gelato. Right, and you're sitting on like a mountain in Tuscany, looking over Tuscany. Right, it's just like, yeah. So
wow,
very inspiring. And so I wrote all that music. So this new album work, I have an album right now I'm putting out.
Are you able to release the name?
Yeah, it's gonna be called Sol e Sol, Part 1. Sol e Sol.
Sol e Sol. Okay.
Sol, sun in,
Okay.
in Spanish, and Sol is like the earth in French.
Yes. Okay.
And so I'm releasing it though, but I haven't announced that because you can't release albums anymore. I'm releasing it single by single.
Okay.
So each month I'm putting a single out until it's time to release the album in the fall. Yeah. And those songs I wrote there in Tuscany.
Crazy.
Ooh, okay. I haven't heard any of this stuff.
It's like a jazz folk thing.
Yeah.
Really? Have you ever thought about like your style, as you said, is jazzy? Mm-hmm. What else would you classify it?
Yeah, I think the jazz,
Soulful.
soul,
So yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
have you ever played around with the concept of like going in like kind of like merging genres? Like for example, like like if you look at ska, for example, is that the popular thing?
Yeah.
It's like that's the reggae and like
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing something like just because you see, the reason why I ask is you hear artists like what's her name again, like Pink.
Yeah.
Who went from R&B, then she went to like rock.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift right now apparently is making a switch over. Country to what she was doing pop. Like what was like when you hear all that? Have you ever thought about maybe I want to shift into another?
Yeah. Well, I feel like anytime I kind of produce a record, it definitely it sounds acoustic. It sounds songwritery, you know. It does sound that way, I think, because I like the sound of acoustic. I don't like the sound of like electronic music for me. But I like people invite me to jump. I just recorded something the other day where somebody just jumped on a track. It was like a beat recorded. They put like auto-tune on my voice. It actually sounds kind of cool. Yeah. Because like I feel like when people like, if you, not to say people can't sing, but if you're a singer, and you put auto-tune in your voice, it sounds kind of it sounds crazy.
I was in studio last week with a non-singer who for the first time heard themselves auto-tuned. There's some bars coming out. No, it's actually really cool. When you literally just turn it up, what it does, it's pretty interesting.
Insane.
It's just not natural.
People would be surprised how many singers they know right now that don't sound like that live.
Yeah, they have another thing beyond auto-tune. Do you remember what it's called? There's another software that's not auto-tune. It's actually, it helps you just to tune any vocal.
Yes.
And they literally, if this is like the wave, and it's like off tune, they literally can like adjust the pitch wave,
and
make
bring
it
it to the
make
right
it
place.
perfect. And it's doesn't sound digital. Like they can manipulate. If I go they can manipulate that and turn it into anything.
It's amazing what they can do now. It's
so
amazing.
it will blow your mind when you actually see it. When you see that sound engineer going, short code is
yes,
complete. It blows your mind. And he's like, oh yeah, everyone in the industry uses it.
Yeah. No, I've seen it done. Yeah, you could just kind of, but yeah, the auto-tune stuff's cool too. So in terms of what I create, I think what I create for me as Duane Forrest, probably will always kind of, well, I shouldn't say always, everything can change, but usually I think it would be acoustic sounding, organic sounding. That's just my thing. But yeah, I'm totally down to do other things. Like I said, I get invited to jump on stuff all the time, and I like different genres, and of course, man, ska would be sick, man. Like and like I always try to, every time I do a project, I always try to get some sort of like reggae-ish vibe into it or something like that. This album is part 1. Part 2 is coming out next summer. Okay. So this album is like jazz folk, but the part 2 one's not. The part 2 one's like Beach Boys dance hall. I don't know what to call it. Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah,
Beach Boys dance hall.
Yeah, it's a different.
What a
it's a
fusion
different vibe.
there.
Yeah. So it's totally different.
Yeah.
It'll be more electric.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like whatever is coming to me, however I'm feeling inspired.
Nice, man.
Yeah, and honestly, like all the Toronto stuff, the hip hop stuff that we're hearing now, the sound of Toronto, like I like that sound, man.
Right.
So it might start to blend into my music.
That's good,
moving
man.
forward, So yeah.
Crazy.
That 2 a.m. sound.
Yeah.
Right.
What's something that I don't know about you, or people don't know about you? Something that you may want to release today. Something that, you know, like for example, the drumming thing.
Yes.
I like something like that.
Yeah. I'm not talking about like
Reaching
going
into the
deep.
vault.
Yeah, just go in the vault. Something that we don't know that would surprise people to be like, "What? Are you serious?"
I like long walks in the park. Man, that's tough. Outside of the traveling and stuff, and I just told you that. Okay, I just told you about the terrible breakup, and going to Italy to heal. What could I tell you? Well, maybe people might. I don't know. Maybe they would be surprised that. So I play basketball. You know that.
Yes.
So I'm a sports guy. I'm an arts guy, but I'm also a bit of a nerd.
Okay.
And if I could say that, I don't know if that's okay to
No.
say now.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm a
Just
bit of a nerd. Yeah.
own it.
So
Own
yeah.
it. 2019.
See.
Yeah.
So I when I was growing up in high school.
Yeah.
So I'm such a weird guy when I think about how it was. So I did all those things we said:
Yeah.
sports, arts, music, right?
Yeah.
But I also played dominoes in the calf, like, you know, that was like my favorite thing to do. And I remember doing this terrible thing. I feel bad about it, but like when we used to see like some of like the foreign students coming in like with like lunch bags, like, you know, like the brown paper lunch
Yes.
bags. We would just like take the lunch bag and rip it open, and
Right.
the food contents would fall on the ground. It was very
Yes.
mean.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else has done this. I don't know why I did this.
Wow, Duane.
I know, I feel terrible. And I just like, oh, what do you got for lunch? And which is just totally not me, right?
Right,
I don't know
right.
why I did this.
Right.
But the same guys I was tearing their lunch bags, one day I saw them. I saw them at a table, right? This was a table of Asian kids.
Yeah.
And they had these cards on the table, right? I'm looking, I came by, I was like coming by for a lunch bag basically. And I was like, what are you guys doing? And there's all these cards on the table. And the cards had images on it, and it was like wizards and stuff like that. I'm like, what is this?
Right.
And they said it was Magic the Gathering. It was a card game called Magic the Gathering. I don't know if you guys even know what that is.
No.
Now there's card games
Magic
called
cards, yeah, I
the
remember.
Magic cards. Now they're called like what, Pokemon or something like that, or Pokemon cards or something like that, right? But before it was this called Magic.
Yeah.
And I was so interested, and on the cards had the information, and it was like, okay, this person, like, you know, in the next turn they lose their turn, and they lose -5 points because of this
Yeah.
fireball.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was something like that.
Okay.
So I was like, what are you guys doing? So
Yeah.
I started coming and visiting them every lunch.
Yeah.
And then started sitting with them. Right,
Yeah.
and these were like the nerds,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
and
yeah.
I was a kid that was ripping their lunch bags.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was so into it. I'm like, okay, so how does this work? And they're like, okay, I hit you for 5. And it's just like I hit you, and I tap, and you like tap the cards, you
Yeah.
turn it, and so it was weird, and I got so into it.
Sounds fascinating.
It was so, I thought it was so fun and so strategic,
Yeah.
right? I just love using my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
So then I started following these guys. They would take me to comic book stores,
Yeah.
right? Because that's where they used to play their tournaments and stuff. It was like
Right.
in comic book stores. Then I got opened up to the comic book world, and I started collecting comic books and stuff like that. A lot of people don't know this about me. So I used to have my own Magic card decks, and like stacks of comics. I had really valuable comics,
Yeah.
right, at one point. Yeah, and it was really cool. So that's something that people don't know about me.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if we ever want to have a game,
Yeah.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it.
Listen.
It was really fun.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
it's good,
You're
man.
right.
Yeah.
When I look at you,
Yeah.
I'm trying to see who your influencers of music are. Like, who would be the influencers that you pull from?
Okay. Yeah, man. Bob Marley, Jack Johnson, Nora Jones, Frank Ocean. Who else would really inspire me? Nat King Cole, that sort of thing.
Really?
Yeah, Billie Holiday, like 1920s,
Yeah.
1930s music, jazz. Man, Soundgarden.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Soundgarden, yeah, Nirvana. I really, you know.
Yeah.
I'm different, you know.
Kind of all over.
Yeah,
It is,
it's basically when it was good, I liked it.
Mm.
Like one of my favorite songs is Harvest Moon, Neil
Okay.
Young.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's not even my genre of music. That's not what I listen to, right?
Right.
But it's just like, if it's amazing, if it's good, yeah, man, I want it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what influences me.
I mean, to me, I would love to hear you play. Because it's been a while. The last time I saw you, do you know when the last time I heard you play?
When?
The Bride.
What?
Really?
Yes.
Really?
That was the
how
last-
many years ago now?
Years ago. That was the last time I literally heard him play.
Yeah, the Bride was an urban musical penned by a good friend of ours, Anthony, who's been on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also did a music performance.
Yeah.
And Duane did a number of music tracks, and I did some stage acting on that as well.
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like the preacher or something, right?
Yeah.
Wow, I forgot about that.
You were a goon in one of them earlier.
I was a goon in one of them. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. See, goon to a preacher. See?
Yeah.
Amazing. Life's about making progress.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you, music is such therapy. Do you find that sometimes you could be having a bad day and you just kind of play and sing a song to make you feel better?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Or you don't necessarily feel better, but you get to get the feelings outside
Yeah.
of you.
So instead of like raging on a punching bag, you kind of just
Internalizing is not good.
Yeah.
So
Let me ask you, you've traveled, you've been all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
You've lived, I mean, that's pretty amazing.
all over the world, calm down.
Yeah,
No.
but you got like cultural spidey sense,
Okay.
right? Like you just, oh yeah, that guy's from there.
Yeah.
Okay, you can just tell.
Yeah.
Okay, by the way he smokes, right?
right.
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 Literally.
What is it about our society, Toronto, okay, that when you travel and you come here that you see, oh man, we're suffering from this, or it's just like, and this is if education is this great, I mean, if travel is the great educator, and it shows you so much. When you come back, a lot of people I know that when they travel, they come back to Toronto, they're like, man, I love Toronto even more.
Yes.
Okay, but what's something that you see that we're poor in, that like when you go out,
Yeah.
and you're literally making pasta sauce with your own feet.
Yeah. Whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
right? And all these different experiences.
Yeah.
Where 14 elderly ladies are braiding your hair in the mountains of Mexico. Right, which basically happened. Okay, when you come to our fast-paced society, phone, social media, everything, what is it there that you think? What is it Toronto needs to know, or that you would speak to in terms of just the way that we live?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because you go out, and when you
Yeah,
come back,
come back.
what can you bring back for us to know? Because I've never left North America. I always make a joke that every place I've been to has a 7-Eleven.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
that's the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right. So yeah. Well, coming back to Toronto, like it's true what they say. Man, we're lucky. This is a great city, Canada. Man, this is the country. Like I'm happy to call this place home. You know.
Yeah.
So for sure, but yeah.
Sorry, Kawhi.
Right. What the one I was thinking about this recently actually. So it's good you're asking. I was like, I'm trying to figure out what is it that causes the vibe of Europe to be so much cooler, like the day-to-day vibe than Toronto. What is it? One thing is something that we can't change. You'd have to literally demolish the city and rebuild it. The way their cities are built, our cities here in North America, because they're newer, are actually built more intelligently, right? So they're more effective. That's why it's in grids. But grids makes you feel like you're boxed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So over there's no grids. Over there, you walk. If you're walking on the street and you think it's going straight, you'll end up you're going the wrong way, right? And you'll be like lost. You're like, where am I? You'll keep walking, and then all of a sudden you'll be at like this big. They call them piazzas in Italia, or like just like these big spaces. Like our closest version of that would be Dundas Square.
So like town squares.
Yeah, but even though we call it, see, it's not a square, man. It's an organic open space where people are in it, right? And they're everywhere. You just walk, and all of a sudden, boom, you end up in another one. You walk, boom, you end up in another one. And the way they've designed their cities, which makes more sense to me, is that it's designed around us being together, right? Being together, spending time together. It's just designed that way. It feels that way.
Right.
It's not effective. It's not about us getting to the next thing.
The point is to gather.
Yes, it's not. The point isn't to get to the thing the fastest you can. It's not so you get from home to work.
So it's not
as quick as you can.
It's not A to B.
It's not A to B.
A with B.
It's exactly right, and you're on your way, and then you meet somebody, and you're like, oh shoot, and so there's that. The next thing they have is that you can drink alcohol outside.
Okay.
Right. Their approach to alcohol is completely
outside of a
different.
patio?
Hold on.
Yes.
I was just working in security. This is
Yes,
causing us
yes,
fits.
yes.
I mean, how do they regulate it?
Right.
They don't have security. That's why.
I mean, who knows the?
It's a funny thing.
Are they
when
smart
you,
served? Are they smart served certified?
Smart served. It's a funny thing when you trust. If you trust humanity, sure there might be a little risk with it, right? But I feel like if you really do trust humanity, right, they'll be all right in the end. Now, if we all of a sudden made alcohol legal here, would be a big mess in Toronto.
Right.
It'd be years of a mess because we're not used to it. But so, for example, there, people are not getting drinks to get hammered.
Right.
That's not the
Right.
purpose of
Right.
it. Like, why would you here? Like, they're not trying to do that.
Right.
The drinks accompany a meal.
Yes.
Or you drink because you're meeting somebody for
Right.
a drink,
Like a
to
coffee.
talk.
Literally like a
It's
coffee.
like a coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's they
gather.
and
They
they start
gather.
drinking from young.
Right.
They're over. They're not trying to get, like, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you have a daughter. I don't know how old she is. Right.
13.
13. Okay, don't start drinking yet. She's but
No, it's true.
but
In a
they're
European
introduced to it
household.
early,
Yes.
so they don't have to worry. So when she turns 19, she's not
Yeah.
gonna be like, oh my god, I'm drinking, I'm gonna get destroyed.
Which kind of what
Like,
literally happens to a lot of these girls here.
yeah, they've been
Or guys.
restricted. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Girls or guys, they've been
That's
restricted.
a great point. Just look at the normal Toronto
Yeah.
night going life.
Yes.
It's work in a box,
yeah.
be confined by the grade,
And then
go
go
from
to
A to
another
B.
box.
And then literally Friday night, they literally
Just get
it's like,
wasted.
It's like Teen Wolf. Okay?
Yeah,
They go
exactly.
crazy. The thing,
Yeah.
it's literally like vampire
Literally.
living.
Yes.
It's like get the blood.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Right?
Yes.
Get beer in me and then go
Exactly.
crazy. I have
Just
no
go
idea
crazy.
where I end up in the
Right.
morning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I didn't see much of that over there, and when I did see it, like in Paris or Italy, when I did see it, it wasn't Italians, it wasn't Parisians, it was people that, like, it was like Americans or Canadians that have come
Coming in
over
and polluting.
and just like getting, we don't know how to handle that.
Yeah.
So because of that,
Yes.
alcohol's in the streets, and
Interesting.
alcohol, obviously, we know if it done right, I think brings more community.
Yes.
So anytime the sun's out.
Yeah.
Anytime the sun's out, it looks like people are not working. Like it's a work day,
Yeah.
but everyone has found the sun somewhere. They find a spot to get the sun, probably because they don't get a lot of sun, and they
it's
got
also
their
probably
drinks.
speed of life, right? If you think about it, you
Yeah.
can attest to this. The culture in North America is, first of all, now you're looking down all the time to your stupid phones,
Right,
okay?
right.
But you're just moving. There's no
Yes.
time to chat. There's no time to say nothing.
Yes.
The culture, in Europe and in the Caribbean and many
Yes.
other areas of the world, it's
Yes.
like everything's slowed down.
That's right.
Like there's not rushing.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. They're good with that. So I would say that. I would say obviously I'm not proposing that we just change that law, but
Right.
if there was some way to kind of transition into something like that,
Right.
We kind of do it too. Like look at how the city is when we block a street off for a festival.
I
It
know.
goes crazy.
Look how
I
the
go
city
I
is.
go crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We all
Traffic. We go crazy
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's impeding traffic.
Yeah,
We have
yeah.
to get like my Waze app is not calculated
Yeah,
because people aren't
exactly.
reporting it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
right.
But it is
right.
beautiful when
it's
you see
beautiful every
that.
time they block a street off.
Yes. I
every time for any
Yeah.
festival.
Right.
You can go to festivals and things you never even thought about before, and you still enjoy it because the reason why you're enjoying it because people are out and they're eating and they're drinking and
It's
they're
just a different
walking and they're
vibe, man.
outside. It
Yeah.
changes things.
It does.
Toronto
Europe's like-
we definitely need more walkabout neighborhoods.
Yes.
Yes.
Where it's not just like a one weekend thing.
Distillery district.
Or
Yes, right.
Like we just need more.
Just defended neighborhoods. For,
just
for
no cars are
community.
allowed in this area.
Defended.
Yeah.
And like Kensington Market where I used to work, right? That's a prime example. There should be no cars going through Kensington Market. It should just
Yeah.
be ongoing all summer because we have it on Sundays. They have a pedestrian Sundays in
Yes.
Kensington Market, and it's amazing.
Do you know I went to Kensington Market for the first time 2 years ago ever in my life?
Wow.
What?
First time ever. And when I
Wow.
went there, I'm like, what the hell? Like this place is amazing.
Yes,
Where'd you get
Amazing.
your $1 T-shirts before?
That's right. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, I
It's
couldn't believe it.
amazing.
It is gorgeous.
Yes.
And
Yes.
People only knew the stuff that happens here, man.
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah, they need more places like that. So if they could do that, if Toronto, I'm not, the smart people that do that stuff,
Yeah.
the urban planners figure it out. But if there's a way to figure out to have like places where cars couldn't go,
Yes.
and to create, and then you could change regulations in those places, just within those places, and allow people to drink outside, and just to kind of trust. And yeah, some people will abuse it. Sure, you're gonna see some people getting wasted.
Yeah.
It's not like I didn't see anyone wasted when I was in Paris, right? Or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still, that's gonna happen,
Yeah, yeah.
right? You're gonna see a couple of broken bottles, sure, but it wasn't many. You know what I mean? And people like they would drink and take up their bottles. You know what I mean? After they've enjoyed the company they had.
Yeah.
And it really brought a really cool vibe. So that would be a great thing to bring to Toronto. And one thing you mentioned, I noticed. I don't know why this is. Maybe it's because of what we just said before, but they're just not on their phones as much. I don't know why. They're just not when I'm inside places. When they've come to meet somebody inside a place, they're not on their phone.
Yeah,
man.
they have their undivided attention.
Their
to speak to
phone
somewhere.
They get rid of they put their phone somewhere.
Right.
I play in bars there and stuff, so I see it. I'm watching.
So
when I play.
okay, I want you to paint this picture right now.
Okay.
You're playing in a bar here in Toronto. For the most part, what are you looking at?
People screaming, getting wasted, right? And if they're not doing that, they're like, you'll see people that are on like on some sort of app date, right? Like where they didn't know each other before, and they're on the phones, and it's just awkward, right?
So they say a musician. My uncle who plays the bouzouki. You know what that is? That guitar, the bouzouki.
No, man.
Oh, it's an incredible Greek instrument.
Okay.
He basically when he plays
bouzouki.
it's beautiful. If you heard Zorba the Greek, the song.
Yes.
That's the bouzouki sound.
Okay.
Anyways, when they're playing it, he says he looks at the crowd and he feeds off the crowd's energy to get into the mode. Like, so if they're in it, he gets in it, and he might be able to do.
Yes.
So when you're looking into a crowd and people are on their phones or they're this and that, it doesn't do much for you, I guess, right? Like it's just like you're just playing, thinking like it's pathetic. You know,
that's
what I mean?
and that's most places here, unfortunately.
So let's go on the other side of the coin now. Now you're in Europe now.
Yeah, it's different, bro.
So you're playing now. People are giving you eye contact. They're into you.
But not all places.
Yeah.
Europe has places like what we're talking about here too, right? Where it's just like a bar, and people are just drinking and loud, and they don't, you're just background. There's places like that there too,
right?
But they have more places where it's about the art. That's the other thing that Europe has that I think we will have too eventually in Canada. Remember, we're just young, right? So their appreciation and respect for art is on another level. When I go and I tour in Italy, I go on tours. And I'll tour like the South, I'll tour the North. When I go there, man, I swear they're treating me the same they would treat Drake if Drake went there.
Wow.
They treat me like crazy good, man.
So
Right?
sick.
Yeah, they treat me good if I was Drake,
Yeah.
Because the artists are truly valued. They speak, shape culture. I mean, look at the history there. You go through Europe, thousands of years, all the art pieces. Yeah, I know.
So it's just a special place. So I don't know how to transfer those things over here.
Yeah. We'll find a way. We'll find a way.
But remember, we got a lot of great things here. For example, in Europe, we won't get into this. It'll be another conversation. But there's, I've seen and I've experienced, a lot of racism. You know what I mean? In a way that I don't see it. Not that we don't have it here, but we're just different. We're on another level in terms of that.
Right.
So there's a lot of pros here that they could use over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, look, man, I really want to hear you play right now. I mean, I was going to ask a couple of questions. Maybe let Mike ask a question, but then it's going to take away from hearing this beautiful sound, man.
Okay, man.
Because here we're talking about you playing, but nobody here has talked about your beautiful voice.
Okay, my beautiful voice. I'm still waking up, so we'll see.
The angelic sounds of the forest.
Look, thanks for coming in with Scotland. Hit up, maybe throw out your Instagram and some of your different handles so people can just be looking at their phones and checking.
Yes.
Duane's really great. If you follow his stories, he gives you a good feel of like literally where he walks, what he eats, the hands that he shakes. And just, if you want to go to Scotland, go to follow Duane's stories. I mean,
yes.
There you go.
I've gotten better at those stories, I'm getting better. I was resistant before because of the whole phone stuff, but it's just we're in that time, and
you can't beat them, join them.
You can't beat them.
North American enough.
Forget it. Right.
And now I'm starting to really like it because I know some people are like they can't for some reason they can't be where I am, so it's cool for them to see it.
Good.
I'm on. You can find me as Duane in the Forest, Duane in the Forest, like Forrest Gump, 2 R's. If you Google that, you'll find me on a lot of stuff. My website's Duane's Guitar.
Okay.
And that has all my handles, and I'm friendly. And I'll follow you back.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
Nice there you
Not
go.
just a taker.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Listen, thanks so much for coming down. Again, we're going to go into this next segment. Do you want to introduce what you're going to get into, or are you just going to go casually?
I don't have an idea what I'm going to play yet.
Oh,
yes.
So we'll see.
Now, just to know.
Next song, I don't have an idea.
Yeah, hey, I don't have it. One thing to know about Duane, which his life as a whole is a curveball to most people. Okay, there's some regimented folk who have even worked alongside Duane in past, and it's tough for them to acclimatize to the way he moves. There's one great way that it's been described, Duane's life. He's like a leaf in the wind.
A leaf in the wind. A
leaf in the wind, which is like, and I know Duane really well. He'd have it no other way. At times it's trying because when you want to settle somewhere, all of a sudden you're just picked up and you're gone.
Right.
And it's very true. Duane can go to a city for 2 days and spend 2 years there. Okay. It's happened before. So it's like whenever like never ask him like, "What's your plan?"
Right.
Yes, yes,
Okay, that's
yes.
like asking a leaf. Okay, so you plan.
See, I'm the opposite of the leaf.
No, I know.
I'm like a pile of cement.
yeah, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So it's just another way to live. But I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it's so important, especially in our day and age, to, you know, because it's literally like it is a life of faith, and it's not being afraid where you go, and it's making the most of it. And Duane has just had this. His life has been this incredible, I guess, testament on to be open to anything.
Okay.
Then as you go, say yes. Okay, and as you meet people, don't be close to them. Be open to them.
Right.
I was talking with Christina earlier. Duane is like what, and he may not know this about himself. He can go into any circle and be embraced, and it doesn't matter if it's in a prison. It doesn't matter if it's 70-year-old Norwegian women in a hot stone spa.
Yes.
Okay, like for real.
Yes.
Okay, like he literally. It's not like, and it's funny that you say like if there's anyone that can break cultural barriers, and you know, racism is just one of them. Okay, but there's so many other languages. Duane, he speaks them all. For some reason, his life, he's just found his way. And I think, you may not know this, but guaranteed there's a lingering element to your days. You spend a couple of weeks in a country, they'll never look at people who look like you the same. Never. Guaranteed.
Right.
You know, and that's the fact that he doesn't know what song he's going to play.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and it just, I say that because we're so like attuned to our watch.
Yes.
We have everything mapped out, you know, from a parent side to the parents out there who literally like every minute you have scheduled. Okay. So, you know, Johnny comes home, he's got violin lessons from 4 to 5. And then 5:05, he then goes to his math. Like,
Yes.
I mean, like, I get it. There's a time that you put in. Yes, you might, you know, that little Johnny will be a little bit further ahead, but how rich will his life be in experience?
Right.
Will he really, and I say this, like, I mean, I'm a musician. I know so many musicians who hate music because of their musical journey. They were forced to take lessons. Think about that. You take music classes, and on the back end, you hate music.
Right.
You literally hate playing. You hate everything about
Right.
it. Okay. Duane's someone who's like his whole life has been just a counter to that. That he's found the things that he's enjoyed, even in its most simplest form, and he's just kind of gone where they go. And I think, you know, there's just something about just that exploratory kind of nature that he has that I think we can all learn from.
Right.
You know. So, and if anything, he doesn't speak about it. He just kind of lives that life. If you
Yes.
follow his stories,
Yes.
trust me, when you're in your cubicle or you're like, yeah,
Sure.
like guaranteed, his stories will be a fresh breath for you. And hopefully you kind of live a life. All of us can learn so much from you, dude. Like truly, truly, truly. You might,
Absolutely.
you know, for you, you feel like that leaf that's going all over the place. It is liberating to those around you, and they see like, wow, man, because they know that you truly are enjoying everything that you're doing. So.
Well, with that said, do you know what you're going to play? No. Okay, let's do it. Let's get over to the next side and
All right.
get the show on the road.
Yeah.
Thanks
Love
for
it.
having me,
Thanks for
guys.
having Mudge.
Okay.
Amazing, bro. Really
Thanks.
appreciate it, man.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Peace.
Ready? We're still rolling. Okay. Snowflakes in May, falling today, don't even make no sense. Snow that no one stepped on yet. We go ahead and we make footprints, though it seems kind of strange. Well, love sometimes is out of place, like warm scarves in May. Warm scarves around your pretty face. Remember it like yesterday, but lost it all back in the spring. I picture it like yesterday. Well, love's better yesterday. Ooh. Thought the snow was here to stay, but who can understand love's ways? So I Charge you by the doors in the air and the gazelles in the fields. Do not stir, don't you wake up, love. Before love pleases, don't stir, don't wake up, love. Before love pleases, don't stir, don't wake up, love. Don't you stir, don't you wake up, love. Don't stir, don't wake up, love. Don't you stir, don't you wake up, love. Don't stir, don't wake up, love. Don't you stir or wake up, love. Wish I was in this park alone. Time is too short. I know you know. History seems to be eternal, like cherry blossoms above our heads. High above us, cherry blossoms. High above us, cherry blossoms. High above us, cherry blossoms. High above us. Love has a way of being cruel, teaching me things. Some aren't true, some are so true. How I wish we were sitting back in school with cherry blossoms high above us. High above us, cherry blossoms high above us. Cherry blossoms high above us. Cherry blossoms high above us. Ooh, ooh, is our love lost in moments while time just keeps on moving, or does it keep on growing? Cherry blossoms above our heads. Is our love lost in moments while time just keeps on moving, or does it keep on growing? Cherry blossoms above our heads. How I wish we were still good friends, or something like acquaintances. Couple of kids watching the sunset with cherry blossoms above our heads. High above us, cherry blossoms high above us. Cherry blossom high above us. Cherry blossoms high above us. High above us. High above us.
Listen to this episode on iTunes and Spotify. Make sure to drop by next week. And don't forget to subscribe.
Let's go!
It's time to give a shout out to our sponsors. This podcast is brought to you by Sentinel Security Plus. For all your premium security needs, visit SentinelSecurityPlus.com.
And The Substance Group for all your integrated marketing solutions. Visit TheSubstanceGroup.com.